how you guys doing? Hello, hi. I am originally from Canada. I've been living here for a little bit, and last couple years have been pretty crazy, man. People were saying that they were going to move to Canada, right? There's a lot of people angry saying they were going to move to Canada, and people said it as if you can just do that. There's nobody here that thinks Canada's a real country with laws. Everybody just thinks it's their couch to go crash on for a while. Oh, it's rough here. Let me go to the cottage up north. It's crazy, though, because Canada really cares about what happens here, okay? We watch it. My mom called me every day for months, freaking out every day, being like, what are we going to do now that Trump's in? I'm like, what do you mean we, Mom? You live in Canada. What are you talking about? She's like, well, it affects our trade. I'm like, what do you sell, silk? Mom, no. Is it going to be hard for you to get that lumber off your hands? I doubt it. I love that my mom she has barrels of crude oil in the back. Who am I going to give this to now, China? Like, you work at a restaurant. I love, too, that my mom's worried about trade between Canada and America, because my mom has no money, nothing. My mom owes money to Visa. Changes her number all the time so Visa cannot find her. Worried about trade. My mom actually legally changed her first name to hide from people. So even if a creditor does find her number and call, they're like, is Lynn there? Not anymore. And she just hangs up on them. She didn't even tell me that she changed her name. I found out because when you apply for a green card, you have to write down your parents' names. I wrote down what I thought my mom's name was. Then the American government called me and they were like, hey, this woman doesn't exist. Then I had to call my mom and be like, what's your name? And she said, why do you need to know? That was her actual answer. She goes, who are you going to tell? Visa? I'm like, Mom, I'm one of your kids. I'm not going to rat you out to a credit card company. But you got to let me know when you make big life changes, like a different name. I already grew up without a dad. What am I supposed to write down? Dad, none, Mom. I don't know. I need names of people that exist. I love that my mom's worried about trade, too, because, she never had any money. This is a big quote of my mom's when we were growing up. She was like, if I ever win the lottery, I'll take you guys to Disney World. If I ever win the lottery, I'll take you guys to Disney World. We'd be like, yeah, I'd just be pretty sick if you bought food, because you're scratching a lot of tickets, Mom. I didn't get to go to Disney World as a kid. I went a little while ago because a friend of mine works there, and I thought Disney World was going to be super happy and fun, because you see the commercials, and it's just a happy family of four running through an empty park, smiling like we can get on any ride we want. Then you go down there and you see that 50% of families are having a pretty good time. The other 50% of families are just getting a divorce right there in public. People are breaking down, they're getting cooked in the sun, and kids are like, can I get another $12 Rice Krispie treat? Can we get back in that 3-hour line? And some dad's like, I don't even want this family, and just walks out of the park. People get so mad, man. They plan that trip so much, and they do not want to hear any outside opinions. You see families like, all right, Monday we'll go to Epcot. Tuesday we'll go to Animal Kingdom. Another family member's like, what if we went to Animal Kingdom on Monday? Shut the hell up, Janice! I swear to God I'll choke you here. People spend so much money, man. People go down to Disney World and spend $600 a night to stay at a hotel. $600 a night! Then in the morning, they'll get up and leave that room. If I ever go on a vacation and the hotel room is $600 a night, that room is the vacation. I'm not leaving that room. I'm going to do everything you can in there. I'm going to use all the soap, all the towels. I'm going to open and close the blinds for an hour. I will finally read the Bible. I will get to it. Crack it that weekend. I don't even know why people are going on vacation anyway. People walk on vacation holding their phone. Just send your phone to a vacation spot, pay somebody there to walk around with it, and get them to send it back. I try so hard to check my phone, not at all. I don't want to check my phone as much as I do, but it's hard, right? I'm walking down the street, and I hit a red light, and I'm like, well, I got about 8 seconds to kill. I can't just stand here and breathe. That's so primitive. That's what a caveman would do. Sucking on the sky, waiting for a green. So I take my phone out and I look at it and there's nothing that I want to say. Nothing. All I want to do with my phone, I just want to be able to text people and call. That's it. But you can't call anybody anymore. We've all decided that we're never gonna answer our phones again. It doesn't matter who it is, like, oh, my best friend, decline. Nobody cares. People still fight to find their phone too. They're like, oh, my phone's ringing. Where is it? There it is. Decline. Just turn the ringer off. Every single time I call somebody, they hang up and they text me back. And they text, yo, you called? Yeah, I did. They're like, what'd you want? I'm like, we couldn't figure this out. I like talking to people. That's why I try to do it. Like anytime I go to a grocery store, I avoid self-checkout. I will stand there and wait to talk to a cashier because I want to talk to people. You think with self-checkout we would have just got rid of cashiers, right? But we didn't. We now just make most cashiers stand there beside the self-checkout. And we make them watch us do their job. That's a cashier's job now. Stand there and watch us mess up what they know how to do. And they always look so sad over there, hunched over with their arms crossed. Like, I used to ring things in like that. That's broccoli, right? Through 306. I'll never forget. Tattooed on my arm. I used to get mad when people would come into Starbucks too because a lot of people try to save the world. People would come in with their own cups, man. And they would look at me, they'd be like, hey, can I get a coffee? And when I would turn around to get the cup, they'd be like, no, wait! Put my coffee, and it was always strapped to their hip, put my coffee in this cup! Because I want to save a tree! And I'd be like, look, I'll play this little game with you, okay? But look over my shoulder, because these trees are dead. You are too late for these ones. It's not like when you ask for a cup of coffee, I gotta grab my axe and walk into the woods. What size did you say? As I'm chopping a tree down. I understand the sentiment, man, but you know when they say that like one person can change the world? That's a lie! It's not possible! That is on, you can't take that on for yourself. I'm gonna get rid of cups. That's on Starbucks, man. They should get rid of all the cups, and the only way that you can get a coffee is if you do bring your own cup. One day you walk in and like, can I get a coffee? They're like, do you have your own coffee? No. Well, open your hands, because here it comes. Those would be the same people too. A lot of those people with their own cups were canvassers. You know what I mean when I say canvassers? The people that stand in the street with the clipboard and the vest, and you walk by and they're like, you know, when you're having a good day, 40 children burst into flames every 12 seconds. Do you know what I like? Do you know what I like about canvassers? Is they're usually standing in front of homeless people. They're like, we gotta help this kid. You're like, what about that guy? He's not on my clipboard. It's crazy to me that people are willing to give money to a canvasser, right? Who don't even want money. You can't even give money to a canvasser. You're like, fine, all right, clothe the kid, here's 20 bucks. They're like, no, give me your name and email so I can ask you again for more money down the road. Imagine if you gave your money to a homeless guy and you get an email like 2 weeks later being like, subject line, guy from trash can. Do you have any more quarters? It's so crazy to me that people are willing to give money to canvassers, right? People are willing to give money for we don't even know where that money goes. It's a 16-year-old in the street in a vest. Who is it going? They're like, it's going to Africa. Is it? You're making money? How much of this goes to Africa? Nobody wants to give money to a homeless person. Nobody. Everybody's like, I don't want to give my money to a homeless guy, because what if he uses it to buy drugs? Is that everybody's big fear? Also, who cares if he buys bricks to beat other homeless people with? As long as the money got to him. Also, that he's gonna buy drugs. There are people in this room who wake up every day and are like, I need drugs. And you have houses. And sometimes it's too much, and like, bills again? Where's my weed? So if you lived on the street in a pizza box, wouldn't you want some drugs every once in a while? It's crazy to me, too, because there's only canvassers really to help. There's only canvassers most of the canvassers are only to help kids, you know? And there's also some adults in some pretty messed up situations. Why is there never a canvasser out there that's like, hey, this is Tony, and for 16 cents a day, you can bring his Visa bill way down. I had to quit working working at Starbucks too because I used to get mad. Because here's the thing, we would give cops free coffee, right? And it used to make me angry. I was like, why are we giving cops free coffee? My manager goes, well, we want to give cops free coffee. So if something happens and we call them, they'll show up. I'm like, do you know what a cop's job is? They're not part of the mafia. They have to come here. That Starbucks never gave me scones. Let them burn. They gotta come. But it would make me mad because we would give cops free coffee, right? And we would kick out homeless people who only wanted free coffee. And we would kick them out by calling the cop that we gave the free coffee to. Like, one of these things does not need to happen. So I would charge cops for coffee, and you want to see somebody get mad. You charge a cop for something they thought they were going to get for free. Because people would come in they'd be like, oh man, I'm the sheriff of this town, and they would ask for, some of these guys would be like, I want a venti white mocha. That drink is already $5.80. So I'd bring it in quietly, and they'd be like, can I add some shots? I go, of course you can, man, just ding, ding, 60 cents. He'd be like, all right. He's like, all right, I'm done. I go, cool, man. $8. This cop would look at me, look at his gun, look back at me. If that's what has to happen here today, man. And then he would take off his belt and put it down because their wallet is not where the dangerous things are. It's underneath the danger. Once he took the belt off, I'm like, now you're not even a cop. You should pay for this at this point in time. And I would try to give homeless people free coffee, and that sounds like an easy thing to do, but it's not. Because some homeless people are just tired and hungry. Other homeless people are absolutely terrifying, and they do not need hot weapons in their hands. I would really have to weigh it out, man. Some people would come in regular, and I'd be like, yeah, just don't tell anybody. There was this one guy who would always come in screaming. He's like, I gotta kill women and kids. I'm like, I can't give this guy a free coffee. So he'd get to the counter and be like, can I get a coffee? And I'd just stand there and be like, we're out of coffee, man. For him to walk away. I got mad working there, so I just started stealing things, you know? I don't know if anybody else does that at their job. You just take stuff, small things. I took Beatles CDs. I don't even like the Beatles. I would just take them and have them in my house. I've gotten into big arguments with people too about the Beatles because there's no racial slur to hurt white people, right? But if you're ever at a party and you say the Beatles suck, white people will drop their pretzels and just scream in your face. I could walk into a party and be like, you know what, I don't think I like Chinese people. And they'd be like, well, that's a free thinker over there, you know? But if I go, I don't think I like the Beatles, they go, what? All of it? Abbey Road, everything? And they start naming songs. I think it's funny every once in a while there's a big debate. People go, let's figure this out once and for all. Who was better, the Beatles or the Stones? One of those bands is still here. That's the better band. If you bought 2 toasters in the 60s, and one of them worked for a while and then stopped, and the other toaster was still out there toasting the hits night after night. It just went back on a 35-city toasting tour. Can we also maybe wait for one Stone to stop before we compare these bands? The Stones are still alive and old, and they can hear you. Do you know how hard it must be for the Stones to perform? You ever think about how many cortisone shots Mick Jagger's got to get into his hip to climb onto a stage? You ever think about how many goats need to be sacrificed to get Keith Richards out of a chair, let alone onto a stage with an instrument? Only to have them come off and have people come up to them and go, you know, I always thought the Beatles are better than you, man. Good. Did they get a blood transfusion or perform tonight? I don't think so. I'm Mick Jagger, for God's sake. I should have died in 88, 92, an hour ago. Get out of my face. I've never been above 70 pounds. I'm clearly a wizard. Leave me alone. I think it's kind of funny, too, because nobody likes performance-enhancing drugs, right? Everybody that has done performance-enhancing drugs is a bag of garbage. Like Lance Armstrong, all 7 Tour de France taken back for doping his own blood. The Beatles wrote all of their music on acid. If you take acid and make millions of dollars on acid, is acid not a performance-enhancing drug? And what's harder to do? Take acid and play the guitar with your friends, or dope your own blood and ride a bike. Uphill, downhill, for hours, in the sun, with one ball. Do we forget? that Lance had one ball. The Beatles had all 8 of their stupid balls. Every ball they had. I told somebody once I didn't like the Beatles, and they go, well, man, you gotta respect them, because when they debuted in 1964, 75 million people watched. I'm like, why is that a stat I gotta care about? It was the 60s. What else was there to watch? There wasn't a lot of options. There was no Kitchen Nightmares. There's no Shark Tank. There was nothing. There was 2 channels. One of them was Snow. The other one was the Beatles. That was the option. If anything else had aired that night, nobody would have saw it. If the last episode of Breaking Bad had aired the same night the Beatles debuted, nobody would have saw the Beatles. Next day, someone's like, you hear that song, I Want to Hold Your Hand? I'm like, are you an idiot? Walter White killed everybody. You missed that? Obviously, a lot of stuff going on right now with the Oscars, right? A lot of people talking about it. I don't even know why people watch the Oscars, honestly. I don't. Every year they have a list, right, of the biggest winners and losers the next day. They're like, let's figure it out. Who was last night's biggest winners and losers? How are there losers at the Oscars? These are millionaires who get paid to have fun. We're the losers. Sitting at home, wrapped in a blanket, covered in cheese, like, is George Clooney really gonna wear that? There should be a reverse Oscars where they get to see what we're wearing. Because people would throw up, man. If Rihanna tweeted at you, like, really, Snuggie again, you would never leave your house. People take it so seriously, too. Like, a few years ago, people were very excited when Leonardo DiCaprio won an award for Best Actor. People are, like, high-fiving in the streets, like, we got him there, we did it. Leo should have won an award years ago, not even for acting. Leo should have won an award years ago for making every man who ever hated him love him. I don't know any men that don't like Leo anymore. I used to. I saw Titanic. First time I saw Titanic, I was like, fuck this guy. Because every woman that saw Titanic was like, oh my God, Leo. I'd blow him in the boat. I'd blow him in the water if he was the iceberg. So I hated him. And then somebody would be like, you gotta watch this movie with Leo. I'm like, I hate that guy, but I'd watch the movie. I'm like, he's pretty good. I'd see another movie. I'm like, that's acting right there. Now Leo could do whatever he wants. Leo could come to my house and be like, Nathan, I'm gonna sleep with your girlfriend. I'm like, Leo, of course you are, please. If there is anything else I can do for you, Leo. Just in the kitchen making him coffee. Give it to her hard, Leo! Ask him about Wolf of Wall Street! I don't care at all. My girlfriend's a thick lady. You know what I mean? When I say that, she got like a chest and her thighs touch. Do you know what I mean when I say that?
No.
It means she got like a chest, you know what I mean? And her thighs come together. And I gotta say it that way because there was an article written that said women should have a thigh gap. There should be a space. When a woman stands up, there should be a space. There should be a thigh gap. And I'm like, man, for me personally, I look through thigh gaps to find women whose thighs touch. That's what I use those for, you know? As like binoculars to a better world. I'm not trying to be rude, but on this side of the earth, it's so weird. Like, any woman that has any weight on her is considered plus size, which is a real stupid term, man. Because if you look at the numbers of plus size, it's a lot of people. Plus size is 140 pounds to 900 pounds. There's nothing else breaking that up. It's not like plus size. You might want to slow down. Now you can't get on rides anymore. There's none of that. And I don't know why we can't just call them all models. They're all doing the same job. Plus size doesn't make it sound like they walk down the ramp. Plus size makes it sound like they grease the ramp and slide them down it. As these, burgers! And they crash into a wall. It's such a dumb thing. Like, Ashley Graham is considered plus size. Ashley Graham is a gorgeous plus size, and it's so stupid. She's even considered plus size. She's just a woman with tits. That's stupid. Plus size is like, oh, you need a bra? Well, you're a plus size woman then. You got enough hips that your jeans don't just fall off? You got enough body fat to get your period? Whoops, you are a plus size woman. Toss this smock on and hit that ramp. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to make fun of thin women by any stretch. It's so weird that I guess as like a straight man, I'm supposed to like Victoria's Secret models. Victoria's Secret models are supposed to come on TV and I'm supposed to be like, oh my God, look at them up there clanking around. I don't think a Victoria's Secret fashion show is even a fashion show. I think they just go, hey, you guys ever wonder if a 6'5", 90-pound woman could live? Well, here's a lot of them. Look at them go. There's gotta be a guy at the end of the ramp with a celery stick. Like, keep walking this way! Because do you know there are models that just die every year from being too thin? They just die! They're coming down the ramp, they're like, I don't think I'm gonna, and they fall to the front and die. Do you know what's a lot more attractive than being real thin? Is being alive. Eat a sandwich. There's no reason that a woman has to live a full Tuesday on a grave to model this stuff. Because if you watch Victoria's Secret fashion show too, it's garbage, trash, garbage, ugh. They'll come out wearing a giant black cape, huge black wings. Where do you get that? No man can walk into Victoria's Secret and be like, hey, do you guys have that thing that makes my wife look like a Sith Lord? Is that in here? Me and my wife have this crazy fantasy where I'm alone in the desert and she's a vulture just circling the bed. My name's Nathan Macintosh, guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.